Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Argamroth here, back today with another video. And today, I'm going to introduce a new game to you guys. It's called Eternal Evolution, right? So it's really new, from what I can tell. I've just found it yesterday or the day before. I've been playing it the last couple of days, and I've been totally hooked. This is not sponsored. I just found it, and it's got a lot of similarities to X Hero in a lot of different ways. So I thought that maybe you guys would want to know about it, and I just wanted to, yeah, showcase what it's all about and tell you guys what I like about it and what I don't. But yeah, we'll jump into it. All right. Uh, so the first thing that I sort of wanted to touch on is the combat. Now, I've got some footage in the background playing a lot of auto combat footage and stuff, but in this game, you got skill shot based real time combat. So this means that sometimes that manual user input is going to be the way forward for you in like a really hard battle. You'll be able to sort of more skillfully play it to your advantage and really navigate more difficult levels than you should normally be able to, right? And the auto battle feature won't be able to give you the best results. However, it is there and it is nice for just clearing garbage stages, which you don't really need to pay any attention to. Um, and as we'll go over later in my likes and dislikes, the game doesn't really have a skip feature for those said garbage battles, which does kind of suck. So it takes a wee while to get through all the missions, but hey, it's alright. The graphics are beautiful, so at the very least, it's going to be a pleasant viewing experience. But yeah, no. And yeah, so when you are casting those abilities in that combat, the combat is briefly paused, right? So you can sort of aim and make sure you're casting your abilities in the right places and everything, which is a nice touch. It makes it more casual for us less intense gamers that are playing these kinds of mobile games. But yeah, no, the artworks and the graphics in this game are amazing. So far, my favorite hero is this Tiger Man Archer dude on your screen right now. Taylor. Okay, yeah, Taylor. And yeah, so yeah, this game has sort of three main factions, each with their own unique aesthetic and characters and sort of abilities and stuff, as per usual in this kind of game. But three is a bit different. Normally it's four. Technically it has five if you count the sort of dark and light faction, the super premium ones. But again, this is a beta game. Those super premium factions only have one character each, and not very many ways to obtain them so far, right? I'm sure it's coming eventually, but you know. So we'll quickly have a look at the three different factions and what they're all about, and yeah, go over as much as we can. Right, so we got Terran. He's a sort of humans, cyborg, robot, that sort of vibe. Sort of protagonist faction, so the ones that always pop up on your screen and da 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 da. And yeah, so as you can see, you got like your robot sort of characters, you got your humanoid characters, you got your could be somewhere in between characters, and it's like unique aesthetic for sure. Well, I say unique, but what I really mean is cool. It's a cool aesthetic for sure. Nah, but for real though, they're really they're probably my least favorite faction in this game, but I can see the appeal for people if you're into that kind of stuff, right? And then next up, we've got the Atlas. These are sort of like a weird religious slash technologically advanced alien civilization kind of dealio. Got like heaps of different alien races, creatures, whatever, all meshed into this one faction, but they've all got this overarching sort of blue aesthetic. Um, I've briefly read over some of the lore, and it's got some complicated stuff about some crystal node fusion thingamid what's but at the end of the day, they're cool blue alien dudes who I think are pretty damn awesome. Honestly, aesthetically, they're my favorite faction. I just my favorite character so far is from this last faction, the Windfur, right? These characters are like all beast, creature, people, things. So kind of like your nature faction, I guess. The lore surrounding them is that they were originally created by the Terrans as a weapon against the gods or something. I don't really know. But it's all animal war beast kind of dealio, and they got their independence and their own planet, and yeah. So got three cool alien slash advanced civilizations as your main few races, and then you got your god, your singular god so far, and void character as well. So they exist. Yeah. So that's sort of the aesthetic and direction of this game. So there's, like I said, a few similarities to X Hero there, and especially in terms of the gameplay, and not so much gameplay, but more uh, upgrade mechanics, the sort of unique equipment, dealio. Yeah, I'll go over it in more detail if you guys want. If you guys are keen to see more of this game, I'm absolutely keen to make more videos about it, but I'm just giving a brief overview today. So I'll quickly go through what I like and what I don't like about it. So first thing is that I am really into the combat. Like, I've been addicted, hooked on jumping in and playing some manual battles, and it's the best feeling when you just manage to use your skills in such a way that you just barely clear that really, really difficult level, and it's really cool. Um, it's been really enjoyable to sort of mess around with different heroes and learn what they do and stuff like that. And you can definitely see that there's a lot of potential for really, really cool combos as well. So the combat is getting a big sort of A plus from me. You know, the art style. I'm a big fan of sort of futuristic sci-fi things. I think a lot of people who play X Hero are, because that's kind of the direction that game at least started in. It's still going in, but kind of becoming waifu simulator. Not a bad thing, but not what we got into it for. So yeah, no. The arts. I like the art style here. Graphics are top notch. I really like the sort of way that they've done it. It looks really nice. The game looks fantastic. Uh, yeah, the models are well done, and it's 3D. You know what's not to like. The drop rates are almost double X Hero for the same sort of character. So 7% for Elite, which is the same as Excellence in X Hero, I think. Which is, yeah, X Hero is at 4.9%. So it's a nice change. Yeah, I mean, different progression system to a degree, but overall it feels nice getting more sort of purple cards. um, Modes, right. This game has a lot of familiar modes if you've played X Hero, right? You got your tower, you got your uh, space discovery. I can't remember what they call it here, but it's the same thing basically. Um, you've got your story mode, you've got your PvP, da 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 da. So, but there's a lot of variety, and they have like unique spins on all of them, right? So for example, your Star Trek, is it Star Trek? The one where you go to all the different nodes and um, try and recruit heroes and get to the end and get some rewards and stuff. Yeah, the one in this one you can like s- run around as your little character and then sneak up on the enemies if you want, and that'll give you a bonus 15% damage to all the enemies on the enemy team at the beginning of the battle. I mean, from what I've experienced, it doesn't make too much of a difference, but it's just a really nice little touch, and I think it's quite cool. Uh, Playing long term, maybe it could get annoying, but nah, I don't see the appeal of it wearing off anytime soon. But yeah, no, it's the small things like that that make this game feel really polished, and even though it's only in beta, I'm just sort of really excited to see where it goes. Uh, so I really like how the progression is. I do actually have this in my dislikes as well, but we'll sort of go over what I like about the progression systems, um, and later we'll touch on what I don't like. So the progression is feels really nicely paced. It does kind of, well, it does force you to upgrade a team of heroes, right? Um, so you can't sort of max out just one hero and rely entirely on them because they will get capped at a certain level if you don't bring the rest of your team up to the same ish level as them. They don't have to be the same tier and level, but it's like at least one or two below them minimum. So yeah, that makes the strategy of purely building one hero sort of not really viable. For some people, this is a good thing. For other people, this is a bad thing. I don't really mind it. I think it's nice to sort of be able to mix and match different heroes and stuff, and it encourages sort of more experimentation through your gameplay, which is always a good thing and healthy for this kind of game. Uh, what else? Progression. I think the rate at which you sort of start to get more materials and things, it's a bit slower actually than a lot of other games. So new features are introduced really quite slowly. So I've been playing 2 days pretty casually. Xera is still my main game, but I've been like really sort of trying to sink my teeth into this one as well. And I still haven't unlocked all the features. I'm slowly getting there. But yeah, no, it's quite nice. It's a good change of pace compared to other ones which sort of overload you with all these different crazy modes and features and everything right from the very start, and you're like, oh my god, what is this? What is this? What is this? This one you sort of as you go. Oh yeah, here's a new thing. Here's how it works. Oh, it's pretty nice. So yeah, that's what I like about the progression. Oh, and um, upgrading heroes. So they've got sort of like this tier system where you go from like purple, which is your excellence, to yellow, which is your epics, to red, which is your legendaries, but and then white, which is your mythic theoretically, and then but at each of these tiers you get like some stars as well, so it's like more stars for each tier, and then the last one I think is legendary, so it goes even higher than mythic. But overall, I think maybe mythic 5 would be roughly equivalent. Um, and so because the food heroes only go to epic, you only need to take them to that sort of epic stage to use them as food for your higher tier heroes. So far as I've seen, I haven't seen any sort of crazy requirements. So it tends to go. You need one food, one copy, one food, one copy, one food, one copy, right? So it's a relatively nicely paced upgrade system for the heroes, and when you upgrade them, they unlock sort of new abilities for their abilities, which is quite cool. Um, so yeah, it really sort of, even if you can't progress your hero in levels, ranking them up feels really, really impactful at just about every stage of the game so far. So I really like that personally. Yeah. Yeah. So the game, as I mentioned, is in beta and really, really new. I believe this is the first global server that I'm on. So they do have, I think, 5 servers in Southeast Asia. Um, but yeah, like I said, really, really new. Great time to hop on board if you like to be sort of an early adopter. And yeah, and on that point, if you're the sort of person who likes to really, really get into these games, they do have some generous packages to sort of get you started and stuff. You will have resources coming out, yeah, everywhere. Resources will be flowing. Uh, there is sort of hidden offers every time you complete a chapter and stuff as well. For those of you who don't like to be surprised by that kind of stuff, but yeah, that's how they roll. And yeah, like I said, the setting is that futuristic sci-fi sort of thing that a lot of us got into X Hero for, and yeah, I really like that. Now for what I don't like so much, right? So I did briefly mention it at the start, but like in general, it's not completely like this, but there is no real way to skip unimportant battles, right? You kind of just have to watch every battle. Uh, if your, I think if your power is more than a certain amount over the battle, it gives you a skip option, but that threshold is really, really high. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a multiple, which means that it gets higher and higher and higher, and it's unrealistic to have. I genuinely don't know how it works, but yeah, the skip feature is not there for unimportant battles or any battle in particular. The only battles that it is consistently available in is arena battles, which is ironically one of the only ones which I really kind of want to watch because PvP is always one of the more interesting aspects of these games. But I do think that the PvE experience here is incredibly well done. So it's not a huge dislike, but it will be a sort of annoyance for anyone that sort of doesn't have as much time to sink into it. But yeah. Right, so the next sort of thing that sort of gets on my nerves is the evolution interface. I've come from X Hero, which has bloody excellent evolution interface, right? You select a hero and then it highlights and puts at the top all the ones that are available and all the ones that are unavailable down the bottom. Here, it sort of arranges it by ones that are available to upgrade at the top in upgraded order. And then if you select one of them, it still arranges them like that. And then it's got the rest of your characters, regardless of whether or not, so that are not eligible to upgrade in a separate section, also ordered by tier. So you have to scroll through this massive list of characters to find like the hero that you wanted to use as food. Uh, you're unlikely to use something you didn't want to use, but uh, yeah, I think there's no clear distinction between which heroes are used as food and used as like upgradable heroes either. So if you're not experienced, you could potentially use up heroes that you don't want to use up, and yeah, so there is that sort of stuff that's all just really user interface things that I'm sure that they'll iron out as the game is updated, and yeah, but as of right now, it is a little bit like janky, but it's not the end of the world. It's just something you're gonna have to deal with if you jump in right now, right? And the last one is that sort of progression thing that I mentioned earlier. Now, I mentioned that I liked the pacing of it. However, I can see that the pacing of it could potentially lose this game a lot of players, right? You're not going to unlock guilds until you complete chapter 7, pretty much, right? Chapter 7, I sort of only got to on my second day of playing, and that was with a moderate time investment as well, with all the different modes and everything, and trying to upgrade my characters to be strong enough to get there, and everything is just sort of a big struggle. And if players don't have those social elements to keep them engaged early on, a lot will just leave. Um, I've noticed that a large majority of the current player base doesn't really have that much of an idea on what they're doing. It's not quite obvious unless you've played this kind of game heaps, as to the best way to sort of progress. Like you see a guy level 59 and he's got all purple heroes, and it's like, what's going on? But it's like most of my friends list in the game currently is like that, There's like one or two people who like, oh yeah, they've played this kind of game before. Um, so yeah, there's not a lot of competition, which I would probably put down to the slow pace progression and turning some people off the game. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but that's just an overview of this cool little game. And if you guys are interested in seeing more content around this game and jumping in and playing with me, let me know. Maybe I'll even start a guild for all you guys, and we can all play it together. If you're the developer of this game and you want me to make more content, let me know as well. But yeah, no, this is cool. Regular X Hero content coming either tomorrow or Wednesday. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the game. And if not, then, well, cool, here's a game. Hope you enjoyed looking at it. But no, all good. Cheers. I'll catch you guys in a couple of days or something.